Let me ask you something real. Why is it that when you finally become who you were always meant to be, people start acting like you're the villain? Why do they look confused, offended, almost personally betrayed by your healing? They loved when you were tired, codependent, agreeable, and easy to manipulate. But now that you've got boundaries, peace, and presence, they're uncomfortable. But here's the truth: you changed. You were supposed to. You didn't just heal to survive, you healed to return to yourself, to reclaim what the world made you give up just to be accepted, to silence the noise long enough to hear your own soul again. They're not confused, they're exposed. You'll know your transformation is real when it starts making other people itch. Not because you're wrong, because you're right. Your boundaries disrupt their control. Your joy highlights their bitterness. And your wholeness makes them realize they're still bleeding. Of course, they'll say you've changed, like that's an insult, as if growth was betrayal, as if you were supposed to stay the same, broken, just so they could feel superior. But healing isn't performance, it's permission. And you gave yourself permission to leave the identity they were comfortable with. Now you're being punished for your progress. The problem isn't that you changed, it's that they stayed the same and hope you would too. When healing shows you the room is too small, here's something they don't tell you about the healing journey: it will rearrange your entire environment. It'll shift your relationships, your tolerance, your vision, until you realize you've outgrown the room. You're the grad student surrounded by high school behavior, the spiritual scholar caught in circles still clinging to cliques and chaos, the one doing real shadow work while everyone else is recycling the same trauma loops and masking it as connection. And you're wondering why you feel so unwelcome? Why you're being micromanaged, nitpicked, gossiped about, excluded, or forgotten? When you committed to growth, to healing, you become threatening in rooms built on stagnance. When you no longer seek approval, you disrupt systems that rely on insecurity. They're not ignoring you because you're invisible. They're ignoring you because your presence is undeniable and the challenges, the lies they've made a home in. And when they can't outshine you, they isolate you. They target your peace. They form silent pacts rooted in fear. Not true. We know she's amazing, but let's all pretend she's not. Let's poke the wound. Let's see if the old version is still hiding underneath all that growth. But when your peace is real, it doesn't bother you. You don't fold. You notice, and you still Rise. When they try to tether themselves to the healed you, watch out for the ones who hated your healing journey, but want to be close to the healed version of you. They come back not to celebrate you, but to study you, to test your growth, to see what part of the old you they can still access. They'll use false familiarity, old secrets, childhood trauma, inside jokes, just to hook themselves to a past version of you. And when that doesn't work, they'll try to weaponize your compassion, make their wounds your responsibility, project their shame onto your peace. They'll say you're cold, you've changed, you think you're better now. But what they really mean is they can't manipulate the new you. And listen, you don't owe anyone access to your evolution. You don't owe softness to those still worshiping chaos. Just because they met you in the fire doesn't mean they deserve to walk with you in the garden. You're not just proving them wrong, you're proving yourself right. Sometimes the real test isn't how others respond to the new you, it's how you do. It's not just about protecting your growth from them, it's about protecting it from the version of you who almost let it go. You're not just proving them wrong, you're proving yourself right. That the pain wasn't wasted, that the shadow work stuck, that this version of you is real, not a high, not a performance, not a phase. You'll be tempted to soften boundaries, to explain yourself too much, to forget the lessons and rewrite the rules just to be liked. But every time you pause instead of panic, every time you say no with clarity, every time you choose you again and again and again, that's the proof. That's the proof you're not the person who needed saving anymore. You're the version who knows how to save herself. You don't owe the world your trauma story. You owe yourself continuance. Don't move like you're still bleeding. You're safe now. And here's the other truth about healing nobody really prepares you for it. Eventually, good people will come, and you won't know what to do with them. They won't trigger your wounds. They won't confuse love with control. They won't need your pain as proof of your worth. And that might scare you because calm feels unfamiliar, kindness feels suspicious, and real support might feel like a setup. But hear me, don't move like you're still bleeding. These people aren't here to drain you. They're here to see you. They're not from your past. They're from your prayers. This is what alignment looks like. You're attracting evolved souls now. People who already have boundaries, who don't need your energy to regulate their chaos. So don't sabotage your new blessings wearing old armor. Don't show up with suspicion when the energy is sacred. Don't shrink to avoid attention. Expand because it's safe now. You are not a survivor anymore. You're a whole, healed woman standing in the center of her own light. So stop performing brokenness. Stop auditioning for love. Be who you became, not who you had to be. Stay empowered, stay elevated. You don't need to argue. You don't need to explain. You don't even need to defend your change. Your existence is the explanation. You weren't meant to stay palatable. You were meant to become powerful. Let them squint if they can't recognize you. You weren't evolving for their comfort. You were evolving for your calling. So no, you're not too much. You're just too healed to be handled the old way. Let the room adjust. Let the energy shift. Let the whispers happen. Because every time you rise, you remind someone else they could have, but didn't. You remind someone else that they could have, and they decide to. It's not your fault if they didn't. That's not your burden. And it's not your battle. If they do, that's just another blessing. This is who you did the work for. Let's not forget who this all was for. Not them, not the ones who left, not the ones who doubted, discarded, or disrespected you. You did this for her, the version of you who didn't know peace was possible, who thought love had to hurt, who begged to be seen and still felt invisible. You did this for the girl who cried silently after setting boundaries because she thought being strong meant being alone. You did this for the woman who walked away shaking but still walked away. This healing wasn't about revenge. It was about remembrance. You were never meant to stay in survival. You were born to rise. And now that you have, don't shrink to make them comfortable. Don't dim to prove you're healed. Don't self-sabotage in the name of humility. Because the healed you, she's not arrogant. She's arrived. Before we close, write down or bookmark this affirmation. I walk in rooms no longer seeking fruit, but commanding alignment. I do not chase, I attract what mirrors my healing, respects my boundaries, and honors my becoming. I am not who I was because I chose to become who I am. And the version of me you're meeting now, she's not for performance, she's for legacy. You don't have to prove you've changed. The way you move now, that says everything. Let them question, let them miss the old version, let them misunderstand. You're not who you used to be because you finally remembered who you are. And from this moment forward, you don't live for recognition. You live in remembrance of the girl who almost gave up, of the woman who chose herself, of the spirit that said no more. So walk with your head high. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them wish. You're not theirs to define. You never were. And from this point forward, you only answer to truth. This is Empowered Shadows. Thank you for listening.